Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Intuitive Play. So, as always, as you're coming in, please go ahead and say hi, introduce yourself, and where you're joining from tonight. Also, let us know a little bit how you're doing today. The energies now are slowly starting to build toward the full moon. They're still a little bit lighter at the moment, but it's starting to get more and more intense now as we're heading into this full moon. And so, right now, it's still a good time for you to still set your intentions, especially if you have set your intentions on the new moon and things that you want to bring in, things you want to manifest for the full moon. And then especially now as we're heading into this full moon again, this is going to be a pretty intense time. So full moon on the night of the 20th to the 21st here in Tennessee, it's around 11 p.m.-ish on the 20th. And it's going to be not just a full moon, but a super moon, and then also a lunar eclipse in certain areas as well. So be ready for it. And, those times are always kind of mixed with anticipation and, very heightened energy. The full moon, of course, everything is up, everything feels a little bit heavier to us. We tend to store things in our bodies. And so just be gentle with ourselves during this time. And then also, just feel into the energies. If you feel off, just know that it definitely has to do with everything that is influencing us. We can't avoid it. We do live on this planet, and so we are affected by those energies, and definitely by the powerful energy of the moon, that influences the ebbs and tides. And so again, just honor whatever comes up for you, and just know that if you are feeling off, that it has to do with the energy of this time. And be graceful with yourself, and be okay, and be in your emotions, and just allow them to be released. Sometimes things that we tend to overlook in life, when there is something like this, like a full moon, then it just happens to be magnified, and it just shows up stronger. So then just look at those areas in your life and see what you need to do to adjust them. And hello, Mary and Debbie and Faith and Melissa. Hi, welcome everyone, and so glad you're here and you're going to be playing with me. So many of you submitted your cards, and I'm excited to get started with you. So in case you don't know me, my name is Silke, and I'm an energy healer, spiritual teacher, hypnotherapist, and a couple other things as well. But really my passion at this point is to help women, help them along their soul path, help them to live the most fulfilled lives, because I've had the privilege through everything that I've done and set in motion in my life, and just through the grace of God, to really be able to blossom in all the areas that I ever wanted to blossom, and to really follow my soul path pretty much all my life. And so for me, honestly, it is such an honor to be of assistance at this point, and be in my full power and my energy to assist and help others. And I do this through my membership, Beauty Flourishing, and then also now through my Awaken Your Life course as well. And so honored to have so many of you in the membership, and then also in the course. And by the way, I am going to be opening the membership again February 4th, so you can already put yourself on the wait list, and I know many of you already have. So can't wait to open it up and welcome you into Beauty Flourishing, my membership for women. So I'm gonna send the link here in a little while again too. So this way you can already add yourself to the wait list if you're interested in joining. Hi Teresa, good evening. So I know you're joining from Michigan, and you were saying that you hadn't seen the moon or the sun in a couple of days. So again, tell me where everyone is joining from, and how is the weather there? How are you feeling right now? Because this is important. Like I said, right now energies are still a little lighter, but it's going to start you're going to start feeling a little heavier. You won't be able to eat quite as much, and things are going to start weighing down a little bit more on you as we're heading into this intense full moon. So again, let us know how you're doing, because I'd love to kind of just get a feedback from you as far as how you're feeling overall. So we're going to go ahead and get started with intuitive play, and excited to share this with you. So again, let us know whatever cards that you have chosen. Tonight is this really beautiful Shaman deck that I just love the artwork from. So very deep appreciation for the beautiful artists who created this. And we're going to go ahead and get started with card number 1. So as I'm calling out your card, if you have picked it, then please go ahead and let everyone know, and then also how it applies to you as well. So card number 1 tonight is flow. I'm going to go ahead and hold that up for you. Let's see. There we go. And so flow is all about the natural movement, that we experience. So it very much also has to do, if you're thinking in terms of what I mentioned earlier with the moon right now, as far as, the flow of the tides and, the natural rhythms that we experience. And then also, of course, if you're looking at it like from a river, how a river flows and how, when we allow that, how that water just effortlessly moves through all directions and can move, past obstacles and through any stones that might be in the path. It has that graceful movement once it's allowed to flow with it. And Teresa's saying that was her card. Awesome. So, it's all a matter of if we're fighting against it or if we're working with it. And so it's really important, when something like this comes up, this card here specifically, Britt, hey! And Britt says she's picked number 1 as well. Awesome. So it's very important, that we do just go with this forward movement of flow, that we just allow it and that we're not resisting it in any way, and that we kind of create this ripple of almost like a dance with it, to where, we feel into the situation and we stop overthinking, we let everything else go, and we just sit in it. We don't push, and we just trust that we are in the right place at the right time, and that everything is already created for us, and that we are in that flow and that harmony with it. So very much, like that idea of the water that's just naturally flowing in such a beautiful, graceful way. And beautiful mind to go with flow. Awesome, Melissa. So, again, the more you can just allow it and trust that the destiny is already decided for you, as long as it feels good and as long as you are in that flow with it. And by the way, I have a special surprise for all of you tonight, because I decided, besides the cards, I also am going to choose some crystals for you too, and of course the affirmation as well. So if I ever forget the affirmation, just go ahead and remind me. And but I wanted to show you, so this one here specifically is a Shiva Lingam, and the Shiva Lingam just naturally has that balance to it of the masculine and the feminine aspects, and it stems from the Nara I can pronounce it, Narmada, the Narmada River in India. And and what they are saying about it is that only once a year, when everything is lower, that's when they actually start to find the stones, and that's when they take so much time, to carve the stones, the village people. And so they're really beautiful stones, because again, they grow naturally in the water, and so they already have that natural rhythm to them, and very much that balance of the masculine and feminine. So if you need any assistance in that area, then that's a really beautiful stone to have. So the Shiva Lingam will assist you just with allowing that natural balance, allowing the natural flow, and also that dance between heaven and earth, and that divine energy coming into the physical reality. So very much, again, just allowing that flow to take place. Okay, cool. So hey, Belinda, hi. Amanda, hi. Oh, thank you. Oh, appreciate it. And we're going to go. So if any of you have picked number 1, then please go ahead and chime in. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 2. Oh, awesome. And card number 2. So who has picked card number 2? Please go ahead and chime in. I'm going to give you all a minute and let me know if you have. And I'm going to tease you for a minute before I reveal the card. And I also need to do the affirmation so as well. So with card number 1, the affirmation that I picked for flow is, I am in the flow with my life path and dance in harmony with it. So if you have opted into the messenger bot, then you will go ahead and get your reveal for that, and you will have your card upside down, and as well as the affirmation later on after the Facebook Live in your inbox. Now, when you sign in, when you are being asked, you have to type yes in there in order for the whole process to start. If you don't type yes the first time, then the system kind of stops. And so just so you know, for next time, in case you haven't done it, you want to go ahead and make sure and just click yes, type yes, and then from there on, it'll follow its natural order inside the messenger bot, and you will get your message in your inbox with your card and also your affirmation. So the tease that I want to give you, so Faith says that she has picked number 2, and hi, welcome. Malay Marlene, hi. And you say you picked number 1, or probably Marlene. Sorry, I'm pronouncing it in German here, but it might be German. So let me know if you are. And so let's see. Britt was saying, great, I have Shiva Lingam stones. Awesome. Yeah, they're really wonderful stones. They're very much a comfort stone as well. So very much for the lower chakras, just to kind of give you a really beautiful feeling as well. And so my little tease for before I reveal card number 2 is a very special stone, and this is a Super 7. So Super 7 has the quality of 7 different crystals inside of it, and maybe that gives you some idea of what card number 2 is going to be. So if you have any clue at all, then go ahead and chime in. But let's just say that this is something that we always play with in my Silgis Art community every Monday. So if that gives you a second clue, then go ahead. I'm going to actually tease you guys and give you a minute here and see if any of you want to guess at the answer of what card number 2 is. So this stone, like I said, very much a mystical stone, and again, has to do with what we do in my Silgis Art community every Monday. So if you're thinking about it, what is the thing that we say Mondays in my community? And so many of you always play with me along that end. So if you have a clue, then please go ahead and post it right now. In the meantime, okay, I thought somebody was guessing for a minute. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and actually tell you the affirmation for card number 2 before I tell you the card, because this will kind of give you the clue already. Shelly, hi. And oh, yes, a lot of energy in the card, that's for sure. So the affirmation that I have chosen for the card, and then I'll reveal it to you. So the affirmation I have chosen is let me see. Okay. Hey, Britt, yes. Magic and miracles, that's right. So, and yes, so that's right. So the card is magic. Debbie, thank you. Awesome. I thought I'll make it a little bit more fun for all of you since you know what's going on. So awesome. So yes, you're absolutely right. So the card number 2 is magic, and and so the affirmation for it is, which if you're playing with me every Monday, is my life is filled with magic and miracles every day. So I thought that was so appropriate, and now I'm going to reveal this beautiful card to you. So if you have picked number 2, then please go ahead and let me know if you have. And this one here, really magic. Of course, it's so easy to interpret. There's not really a whole lot that I need to say, but really just seeing the world in the magic and in the wonder, and the possibilities that definitely lay before us. Quantum physics tells us until we start, that all these possibilities are already within the realm, and until we start really observing one and we collapse that wave function and we start looking at one, all possibilities are there. So it's really that dance in synchronicity with divine again, but really just figuring out where we want to be with it, and then really believing in that magic, and then fully bringing it in and seeing it every day. It's not necessarily about the mysticism of it, but it's really more about giving birth to the natural things that are always around us, and really seeing those miracles, remembering the relationship that we have with Source, and really start pulling those into our field. And the more we can play with it, and the more we can be in that realm, the more of it will come into our field as well. So if you have picked magic, please go ahead and let everyone know. So how wonderful for you, by the way, if you have, because so much fun, because that means you're really playing in that realm, and you believe in it too. So when you're walking through a field, look at the magnificence of it, and if you are walking through a field of clover, for example, do you trust and believe that you will find a 4-leaf clover? My son Philip is just amazing at it. I mean, I can send him out into the yard, and he always finds 4-leaf clovers for me, even more than I do, and that's just who he is naturally. And so that's just so amazing, to see that. And again, do you know that you will find lucky pennies maybe? And what else is it for you? Do you have things that you play with the universe, just to kind of play with these synchronicities and with these things? The more mechanisms that you can bring in like that, and the more you look for those signs, just like what we did with our abundance challenge, where we looked for the number 11, or really what we did is we just started vibrating it into our field, and then of course it started showing up for us. And so again, it's it's just kind of really believing in the magic and miracles that are naturally there and playing with source, because the energies love to play and love to be playful. And so it's the more we can be in that beautiful childlike innocence, the better. So let me see Faith before. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, wonderful. Beautiful. Oh, that is awesome. Congratulations. Wonderful. Yes, I saw that. Okay, cool. Very awesome. And Lynn, hi. Wonderful to have you all on. So, yeah, allow the magic and the miracles to be part of your a daily existence, part of your life every day. And again, the crystal that I have picked for this is a Super 7, because that is a magical, mystical crystal that brings it all together. And by the way, a lot of the crystals now and gemstones are available at my bakery. So if you are local here in Clarksville, then you can just go to my bakery and get some there. And the next card, who is ready for card number 3 and who has picked card number 3? Please go ahead and chime in, let me know. And also how number 1 and 2 applies to you. I'm going to get me actually a little bit of my tea because my throat is a little bit dry. So I'm going to have some tea here for a minute and then continue with card number 3. So yeah, let me know who has picked 1 and 2. And affirmation again for number 2 is, my life is filled with magic and miracles every day. And let's see, Susan, you picked number 3. Mary, number 3. Awesome. Britt. Yes, need to borrow Philip. I know my husband always says, Philip, you need to play the lottery every week, but we don't really play the lottery. So, Amanda, 3, awesome. Oh, wonderful. All right, so this brings me to number 3. Okay, without further ado, I won't make you wait any longer. So number 3 is many paths. Debbie said she has picked number 3. Love your artwork all the time, Debbie, and thank you for sharing that in our community. I appreciate it. So many paths, again, just such beautiful artwork here. And so many paths, this card specifically will show up when you are kind of at a crossroads right now, where you're figuring out where you're heading in life. So maybe there's still a little bit of lack of clarity, finding your calling or knowing exactly where you need to tap into in a certain situation or where you're heading. So it's usually kind of wake up call for spirit to say, hey, come on, you still have something really amazing in front of you. It's time to let go of any fears. And it's time for you to believe and trust and for you to start lining it up. So if you have picked number 3, then specifically tune into that, and see where is anything holding you back from stepping into that one thing maybe that's been nudging you, where maybe, even sometimes it's when we have outgrown a certain situation and we need to step a little bit outside of our own comfort zone and trust and know that everything will fall in place. But, sometimes in the meantime, it can be a little bit uncomfortable when we're going through these growth spurts. And so this card here specifically really kind of nudges you to say, okay, look and see, first of all, if there are different paths there for you, then trusting and knowing that the right one will show up for you, first of all. And then again, it is kind of a call from spirit for that specific challenge, for you to step it up and to fully blossom into, maybe it could be a certain life area, maybe it could be a specific situation that you're working through right now, but it is definitely always kind of that hero's journey call of leaving that comfort zone and stepping out into the world and conquering the fears and stepping into something larger than you are currently experiencing. So I'm curious to see, Amanda, Susan, and Debbie, how this applies to you. Mary, also, because you've also picked it too. Oh, cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's amazing, Amanda. Wonderful. And I'm going to give you all a minute too to chime in and let me know as well. And what I have picked, again, because I thought it would be more fun if I also pick some crystals for you guys. So specifically here, I've picked aventurine. So, and these little bottles, by the way, we have at the cafe, which are so fun. And some of you also received them from me as well. And so, those are just really so beautiful. Oh, Mary's saying that it applies to her. Awesome. Wonderful. And then, of course, you can also, just buy regular aventurine crystals too. So aventurine, the reason why I chose it is because it has such a beautiful lightness to it as far as for the heart frequency. So it really helps us kind of open our heart. And it helps us, if we still experience any fears or doubts in where we need to step into something or kind of get over that hump, then aventurine is just such a beautiful stone to just kind of open up that space and create some lightness there for us. And that's why it's really wonderfully appropriate. It was the first stone that was kind of calling to me when I was choosing a specific crystal for the card for you tonight. So really beautiful, like I said, light heart energy. So it's very gentle and works on such a beautiful, subtle level. So the affirmation that I have chosen for you for many paths, let me look at my note here, is I follow my soul's calling and trust that all is provided for me. And again, if you have opted into my messenger bot and you had typed yes, and then just everything else can follow from there, where it's like, okay, you'll be notified, then you will go ahead and get that in your inbox. So you'll have a picture that I've taken of the card along with, I made it decorative all around. So, but you'll have a picture of the card and also your affirmation in your inbox as well, which I think is a lot of fun. We're finally getting it down. It took us a little bit to get it all refined, but we've got it now. So so is there anything else on your end? Any questions that you have? Again, I already mentioned earlier about the full moon and, those energies. And again, being gentle with yourself, as now we're starting to build toward that full moon and energies will start getting more and more intense. And of course, we can also already see it, here nationwide and then worldwide with things that are going on and politically. And so, again, it's just everything just kind of has to reflect off each other. And so whatever is going on energetically, where we might not necessarily be aware of, but it just naturally always will reflect off each other. So Susan is asking, where's the messenger bot? So when you choose a number in the original post, then you automatically get prompted by the messenger bot saying, hey, do you want to opt in? And you have a choice to then say yes. And so if you type yes in there, then it'll go from there. So then again, you'll get a choice, to continue or not. So and again, it's just a lot of fun because then you'll get your card in your inbox. Okay, so tonight, just to bring it all together, flow, magic, and many paths. So, again, allow yourself to flow in harmony with your life. Believe in the magic and the miracles that are naturally there, and then let go of any fears, anything you might be experiencing in your life, and open yourself up to that new path that is being laid out for you. And if you are deciding between two paths, and you can't quite make up your mind, then just sit with it and be okay with it. And sometimes, it just takes a minute for things to be revealed, just like in the tarot, you're welcome, Susan. So just like in the tarot, the hangman, where he's hanging upside down, kind of, and it's not a terrible thing because he's just kind of resting there, because in fact if you're looking at the Smith Waite deck, you'll see that he is kind of illuminated and very much grounded, and it's all he's held and suspended in that moment where he doesn't necessarily have to make up his mind. And so that's kind of that space that you can allow yourself to be in when you have this card, with many paths, and just wait for the right thing to open up for you, and don't have to necessarily rush into anything. And then again, remember Beauty Flourishing, my membership, which several of you who are here tonight are in Beauty Flourishing. And if you want to say anything about it, then please go ahead and chime in. But it's such a beautiful membership. If you are on a spiritual path, you want to continue growing and learning, and you want to have kind of something that really supports you every day in your life. You want to have a community and want to have that thing that you know that you've been missing in your life, where you can tap into it every day and you can continue growing, you can learn, you have meditations provided for you, and you can tap back into all the passions and the things that you love doing, like different arts and crafts, learn spiritual tools that you can apply every day in your life for the rest of your life, things you can grow with your family, that teach your children those basic things that everybody should know on how life works, how we work in the global togetherness, with energy. And those are the things that we should be taught in schools, but we're really not. And so for me, beauty flourishing is kind of a little bit like a magical school, but then at the same time, it's so much more, because it also grounds you into life as well, and just gives you all those tools that ground you into a beautiful space. And again, the community that Britt is in, and Cindy's in, Susan, and I know we had several of you on already. Let me just scroll for a minute here too. Let's see, Lynn, and let's see, we had Belinda and Britt, of course. Melissa is in Awaken, and Teresa. Let's see. Yep, I think I got everyone. So yeah, again, if you're looking for just this beautiful community in this space and to learn from me, then I ask you to join Beauty Flourishing, and it'll open up on February 4th. And we're going to go ahead and Cindy. Yes, absolutely. And so let's see, I lost my thread here. So yeah, going to open up February 4th, and you can already add yourself to the wait list. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link here again. So Cindy, you were saying hope to see again soon. Do you mean hope to see you again soon? Or I hope you're seeing, so that wouldn't be too much fun. But I will see you at 7 in Beauty Flourishing for our Facebook Live in there. So I will see you in a little bit. And for everyone else, I wish you a beautiful evening. I hope that this was enlightening for you, and that this will guide you, especially again, with the energies of this powerful full moon coming up. I wish for you to be guided into this beautiful uplifting space this weekend, for everything to feel light for you to be held in this beautiful harmonious space as you're transitioning through this time right now, and then coming out so much more beautiful on the other end. And just choose to be uplifted and be enlightened in this space for sure. Oh, thank you, Britt. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you. And love you, ladies. And again, I can't just say enough just how grateful I am, because a year ago I started Beauty Flourishing now, and it was just a vision. And all these beautiful ladies said, "Hey, we trust you. We're going to go ahead and join, because you all had already taken classes with me and had an idea, but yet at the same time you kind of went on my promise and said, okay, we're in." And so so thank you for being in there with me, and it's been definitely an incredible year for me. And Mary, thank you, and hearts right back to you as well. And grateful for all of you here in the space, in the Silkis Art community, and Beauty Flourishing, and Awaken Your Life. And just like I said in my newsletter, it's just such a beautiful space for me to be in, to be of service to you, to now be in a capacity to give and to share. And I love it. So thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it. And again, part of what makes it so amazing is really all of you who are in it and who are holding space for each other. It's just such a beautiful, safe space. And love you all. And you all have a beautiful night. And again, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And namaste. I will see you next week, or maybe some other time in between. Bye.